All I'm saying.
Hey guys, it's your girl Marielle. Welcome back to my channel, Friday Night Light Movie Reviews, where we do reactions and reviews to TV shows, movies, and other digital content. So today I'm coming at you guys with our spooky season playlist. We're going to be talking about and reacting to Amazon Prime original movie, My Best Friend's Exorcism, which is an adaptation from the book by the same name. So we're going to talk about the things we like, what we didn't like. Would I deem this spooky season watchable? Where does it fall in our stars category? So before we get into that, you know what I'm going to ask you guys. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Share this video with your friends and family. And as always, don't forget to hit me up on my other digital platform, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. So let's just jump right in. So the movie is directed by Damon Thomas, and the cast, like I always do in all our other videos, we're just going to focus on the main characters that we see throughout this film. So we have Elise Fisher, who plays Abby, one of the main characters, Amaya Miller, Gretchen, Chris Lowell, who plays Christian Lemon. We have Kathy Ang, who plays Glee, and Rachel Ogechi Kanu, I hope I'm saying her name right, she plays Margaret. Those are pretty much the main characters that we see through the flow of this movie. There are other characters, but these are the ones that we're going to be talking about today. So the plot of this movie, it's based in the 80s. So this 1988, friends Abby and Gretchen navigate boys, pop culture, and paranormal forces, clinging to Gretchen, who gets help doing this exorcism by a mall exorcist. And Abby is determined to compel the demon back to the pits of hell before it kills her best friend, Margaret. So right out the gate, in true 80s form, the opening of this movie literally looked like a 1980s film, and I love that. I love that they got the music, the costume design, the set design. It was all 80s. It was almost like looking at a John Hughes movie, which is saying a lot. So I give it to Damon Thomas for that. The entrance of the introduction to each and every character was done perfectly. We meet Margaret and Abby within the first 5 minutes of this movie, talking back and forth with each other in that natural 1980s with the rotary phone, twirling your fingers around the cord. I thought that was super cute, and I liked it. This may be me, and this is maybe a side note, but Kathy Ang, her character Glee, whoever put that wig on her, shame on you. It was horrible. That wig was horrible. But anyway, let's just jump right into it. I needed to say that because, like, it's 2022, you know what I mean? And everybody else character in this movie the hair was perfect, but Kathy Ang, Glee's wig, y'all was wrong for that. And another side note, anyway, so we have the typical four friends, right? We have the one that has a boyfriend, or the one deemed promiscuous or more mature. We have the Christian character, which is played by Gretchen, who's kind of like rebellious. We have Glee, who is kind of like a follower, but we find out that she has underlying feelings for one of the characters. And then we have Abby, the one who's kind of the glue, but that friend that has the least of self-esteem, mainly in this movie because she's going through puberty. They're 16 years old, and she has acne on her face, so she's always covering up and always being very self-conscious about it. So in that terms of friendship with the 80s movies like St. Elmo's Fire, we all have each character built based on the time that this movie is being done in. There's a scene in here where we have an introduction to Chris Lowell, who is part of what is called the Lemon Brothers. They're like these athletes that go around to high schools to promote believing in God and doing God's will and everything like that, in just a weird kind of bodybuilder way, and it was quite funny. So this movie is basically about when the friends go to their friend's lake house, and just typical kind of scary movie, dark comedy, two friends get separated, which is Gretchen and Abby. They go into this abandoned building. All of a sudden they hear these noises and these voices. They get separated, and Gretchen is the one that got caught up, and that's how she has been overtaken by a demon named Andres. So we learn more about him through the movie as it goes on. There was another scene in here that is just so funny and typical based on this time of the movie, that the era that it was done in. So they're at a Catholic school and they call alcohol rape juice. I don't think that's funny, but it's funny on that's exactly probably how it was said to them back in those days. I won't say that the movie was slow or anything like that and it didn't have slow parts, because again, this is based on an 80s era. So what they do is they focus more so on character development and the ins and outs on the fallout, the falling in love, the moral, and then the end, right? So I think they did very good in that case. The movie flowed very well. But right before we get to the middle of the movie, it kicks it up a notch and it goes straight action, and we see everything unfold from a little less than the middle all the way to until we get to the end. So there's a part where Gretchen, because I don't want to give too much of a spoiler in this movie without you guys saying, okay, Mario, you told us everything, so what's the point of watching it? I'm just going to give you key points. I don't think that it will spoil the movie for you, so here it goes. So there's a part where Abby thinks that Gretchen was sexually assaulted. She thought she was doing the right thing, and she went through all the channels, and she was ignored. Her pleas were ignored. And the nun, sorry, not the nurse, was like, whatever, you're talking about Gretchen's maidenhood being defiled or whatever. And if you're selling drugs or you're on drugs, you're going to get kicked out. And the big thing with me for that is the serious note of all of this. Rape, even back then, was not seen as, it was so taboo that nobody wanted to talk about it, right? And this is why girls don't tell that they've been assaulted, but that was all that is. And thank you for coming for my TED Talk for that. So let's just jump right back into this movie. The tapeworm scene in this movie was gross and freaking awesome and epic. Once you get to that part of the movie, you're going to be like, Mario, you know what? You were right. They had the 80s theme all through this movie. Again, I love the sneakers, the leg warmers, the hair, everything was done so bomb, and the flow of this movie went so great. I would say it is kind of like, it is a dark comedy, but I would say it's a spoof of the 1973 original movie, The Exorcist. Dark comedy, kind of a spoof where they did touch on real demons, the Bible, the explanation of the exorcism, but then gave us this spoof on the mall exorcist who was sitting there throwing salt and talking about he has to be pumped up with protein. So I thought that was really funny. And overall, I will say I really did enjoy this movie. Each scene flowed. Every character that was put into this movie did their job and did it very well. I don't want to go into too much about what happens with Gretchen and how her being overtaken by the demon affects all the other friends, because that's too much for a spoiler. But I will say I definitely did enjoy this movie. I would deem this spooky season watchable. I definitely would. You definitely should give it a chance. So overall, I'm going to give My Best Friend's Exorcism 4 stars. The reason why it did not get the 5 stars, because there was a little bit where it slowed down, but I guess that's typical in that 80s film fashion. So that is it, you guys. We are at the end of this video. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you know when I will upload new content. And as always, be safe, be courageous, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
All I'm saying